For 4 seasons, she was one of the most forking funny ladies on television. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 best Eleanor moments on The Good Place. For this list, we're taking a look at the most hilarious, touching, and character-defining moments from Eleanor Shellstrop. In case you haven't been keeping up with The Good Place, keep in mind there will be spoilers. And this is a show you definitely do not want spoiled. Number 10, whenever she references Arizona. Eleanor's selfish behavior ultimately lands her in the bad place.
Well, I was born in Phoenix, Arizona. And then I went to school in Tempe.
Based on the way she describes her home city of Phoenix, Arizona, though, maybe she was already living in hell. Arizona is relentlessly roasted on the show, whether through throwaway lines or visual gags that emphasize Eleanor's trashy lifestyle.
It's a hot dog, but the bun is 2 churros. And it's tied together with a Slim Jim. It's an Arizona delicacy.
Oh, sounds awful.
According to Eleanor, Arizona's nightclub bouncers never check IDs, and the public libraries are virtually ghost towns. She even took a timely shot at Arizona's Sheriff Joe Arpaio, who was pardoned by President Trump after being convicted of criminal contempt.
I'm a trash bag from Arizona, which is saying something. Our biggest exports are racist sheriffs and HPV.
Of course, it's not all bad in AZ. Where else can you get a hot dog sandwiched between 2 churros with a Slim Jim tying it all into one nutritious package?
You will always be sun-baked Arizona trash, and I know that because I grew up baking right beside you.
Number 9, the t-shirt story. Eleanor's at her funniest when she provides insight into her awful behavior on Earth. If we were to make a list of the worst things Eleanor's done, the infamous t-shirt story would be a top contender. It all starts when Eleanor rips her roommate Madison's expensive dress, but that's only the beginning. Eleanor blames it on the dry cleaners, who Madison sues and forces into bankruptcy. That's not the worst of it though. Madison gains a reputation online as the dress bitch, which Eleanor and her other roommate Brittany put on t-shirts.
Here is your first cut of the profits.
Holy mama!
As the cherry on top of this despicable sundae, Eleanor uses the profits from the t-shirt sales to buy herself a dress, meaning that her wrongdoings have come full circle. Number 8, Eleanor goes shopping. Eleanor has a shopping style all her own. As she stocks up on chips, shrimp, and booze, she crashes her cart into another customer, but is less than remorseful.
Ow, what the hell? Walk it off, Lululemon.
Eleanor's poor behavior continues at the 10 items or less lane, where she definitely exceeds the limit, and overshares uncomfortable details of her weekend plans.
I'm gonna sit alone in my house, watching wedding fails on YouTube, drinking margaritas through a Twizzler straw until I pass out on top of my vibrator.
If you think that's rude, watch how she treats this environmentalist.
The minute you're out of my line of sight, I literally forget you exist. Watch. You exist? You don't exist. You're bothering me? Don't care if you die.
If only Eleanor listened to her horoscope, maybe she would have noticed those runaway grocery carts that end her life. Karma was bound to catch up with Eleanor and run over her eventually, but at least she died as she lived, calling other people jagoffs. Number 7, Pobody's Nerfect. In a show all about philosophy, perhaps the biggest takeaway from The Good Place is that everyone has their flaws, but they also have the potential to get better. As season 1 winds down, Eleanor tries turning over a new leaf by helping Tahani throw another welcome party.
Just pay me a few compliments, you know. I'm great, heart of a champion, basically your muse, you get it.
Of course, she's more concerned about saving her skin than saving her soul. When the guests list off the various calamities that Eleanor has caused, all she can do is shrug and offer 2 perfectly timed words.
What can you possibly say to us that'll make up for your actions?
Pobody's Nerfect?
While the line itself is funny in an adorkable kind of way, the bizarre, overwhelming response it receives from the guests is what really makes this one of Eleanor's most meme-worthy moments.
Pobody's Nerfect? That's hilarious.
Like, nobody's perfect with the letter switch.
That's very funny.
It's Nerfect.
Number 6, Eleanor and Tahani's friendship. Eleanor and Tahani deserve to be ranked alongside Leslie and Anne from Parks and Rec or Rachel and Monica from Friends in defining the term friendship goals.
Eleanor, Chidi, I would like you to meet Tahani and Jianyu.
Boop. Oh, you booped me. I did.
One is tall, elegant, and charitable. The other is none of those things. While these polar opposites start off as adversaries, the two become genuine friends.
Hot, rich fraud with legs for days. Side note, I might legit be into Tahani.
Arguably the most pivotal moment in their friendship comes when Eleanor consoles a crying Tahani.
And you deserve to be happy, because you are an impressive, thoughtful, and special person.
Although Tahani isn't clicking with Jean-Yu or Jason, she makes a real connection with Eleanor, bringing her in for an amazing hug.
I really needed to hear that. Come here.
Ugh, of course your hugs are amazing.
It's refreshing to see a show that not only focuses on the bond between two women, but how friends can be soulmates. Number 5. Eleanor meets Chidi. If you sat down to watch The Good Place without any knowledge of its premise, the pilot probably caught you off guard. The first twist comes when the recently deceased Eleanor meets her soulmate, Chidi.
Eleanor, I swear that I will never say or do anything to cause you any harm.
Good. Because those aren't my memories.
After Chidi affirms his unconditional loyalty to her, Eleanor drops the bombshell. She's not a lawyer who helped people, and she definitely does not belong in The Good Place. Everything we've learned about Eleanor up until this point has been a lie, aside from her name and Arizona roots.
If you're not this person, then who are you? What did you do for a living?
Yet Eleanor's behavior during these first 10 minutes speaks volumes about what kind of person she is. It also establishes her as a great comedic foil for Chidi, an honest man who is inadvertently committed to a stomach-churning fib.
I was the top salesperson 5 years running.
Okay, but that's worse. I mean, you do get how that's worse.
Number 4, going away present to Chidi. While they didn't necessarily start off as true soulmates, a romance blossoms between Eleanor and Chidi that spans nearly 300 years and over 800 reboots.
I wanted to give both of you something before we do this. Think of it as a going away present.
Since The Good Place is only 4 seasons long, it naturally couldn't depict every chapter in their complicated relationship. When Chidi is about to have his memories wiped yet again, however, Michael treats him and Eleanor to a highlight reel of their love story. The montage strikes just the right balance of sweet and humorous, closing out with a dance in the rain. It's bittersweet knowing that Chidi won't remember any of this. Given how many times they've found their way back to each other though, this footage gives the audience confidence that the couple's story isn't over yet.
The girl was hot. The guy was too.
Number 3, only Eleanor can save humanity. Over the show's run, Michael has evolved from Eleanor's secret enemy to her reluctant ally to her friend and even father figure. Although the demon initially sought to torture people, he sees the light thanks to Eleanor.
I'm not meant for this. I'm not the freaking savior of the universe. I'm just a girl from Arizona.
Given her habits in life, Eleanor acknowledges that she's an unlikely soul to save humanity. Michael argues, however, that this is exactly why Eleanor is the most qualified person for the job.
This is a job for a human. One who's tough, but also empathetic, and has a big heart, and a world-class bullshit detector.
Through her perseverance and instincts, Eleanor has continually proven to Michael that there's more to her than meets the eye. The fact that Eleanor has also failed more times than a hot blonde Wile E. Coyote only drives home Michael's point that she never gives up, no matter how astronomical the odds.
And you fail again and again, and you fail 1,000 times, and you keep trying, because maybe the 1,001st idea might work.
Number 2, Eleanor reunites with her mom. Although Eleanor's gone through a noticeable evolution, she cannot fathom the idea that her mother has changed for the better.
Oh, I get it. Coming clean was all part of the scam. It's brilliant because he thinks she's honest, so when she runs off with all his money, he'll never see it coming.
After all, she did fake her death after a drunken bid at a charity auction. Yet the woman who made Eleanor eat fries out of a McDonald's ball pit has seemingly turned her life around with an understanding boyfriend and his daughter.
If Donna Shellstrop has truly changed, then that means she was always capable of change. But I just wasn't worth changing for.
This only enrages Eleanor more, realizing she could have had a good mom all these years. Eleanor demonstrates how much she's grown, however, upon learning of her mom's exit strategy. While the old Eleanor would have fed into her mother's insecurities, she instead gives Donna the reassurance needed to stay on the straight and narrow.
This is your chance to break the chain of Shellstrop mother-daughter crappiness. You have a do-over. Use it.
Now, if only she could get her to wash a bra. I love this show, I love Kristen Bell, and I relate so heavily to Eleanor that it forking hurts. So I just want to remind you all about the spoiler alert because number 1 is the biggest spoiler in the show. So if you benches are cool, we will count down some honorable mentions and then find out our top Eleanor moment.
Did you fill your bra with shrimp?
No. Yes.
Whatever. It's freaking heaven.
I'm sure they have plenty of shellfish.
Knowing yourself. Is he talking about what I think he's talking about?
No, Eleanor, once again, none of these philosophers is ever talking about masturbation.
How do you like them ethics? I just ethicsed you in the face, Chidi.
Hi there. Do you have a second to talk about the environment?
Do you have a second to eat my farts?
No, that was your moral quandary grimace, which is different from your gas pain grimace. And different from your someone said from whence it came instead of whence it came grimace.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. This is the bad place. It takes one to know one, and Eleanor finally sees through Michael's deceit in what's possibly the show's most iconic moment.
Holy mother-forking shirt balls.
Eleanor becomes a regular Sherlock Holmes as it dawns on her that no version of heaven would make people so miserable. Therefore, this must be the bad place. Exposing Michael for the demon in sheep's clothing that he is, Eleanor proudly pieces together all the inconsistencies.
I'm surrounded by people who are literally better than me. Just me being here forced Chidi into an ethical clusterfork. Tahani tortured Jason by constantly trying to get him to talk.
Despite beating Michael at his own game, it only takes a snap to restart the experiment.
Because you know what, Michael? Yeah, they say.
Nevertheless, Eleanor always manages to outsmart the master architect. Eleanor may have a lot to learn about ethics, but it's her street smarts that continually save herself, her friends, and her universe.
This isn't the good place. It's the bad place.
Farts.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.